Hello, it's Shorty, and if you have the Venus in Gemini, then this video is for you. You and nature. To have Venus in Gemini is to be a connoisseur of a variety of ingenuity. It is to appreciate in people, plants, and animals alike the subtle distinguishing features that make up the detail in life's rich tapestry. It is to want to communicate all you can see, to share your knowledge with others, and to absorb from them any additional information they may be able to supply. It is also, however, to risk becoming a critic rather than a commentator, a disenchanted pundit rather than an enthusiastic observer. For when something captivates your heart, you want to know every little thing about it, so you tend to play about with it, to see how it responds under condition X or environment Y, or whether it will benefit from this change or that adjustment. Sometimes you discover you can work minor miracles with your experiments, vastly improving the efficiency of a machine, the emotive impact of a piece of music, the taste of a recipe, or the sales potential of a product. And sometimes, like a child who dismembers an insect to see what will happen, you tinker too much with your toy, disabling it beyond repair. There is a very human, but nonetheless misplaced tendency, at such times to blame the failure on the fiddle rather than the fiddler, at which point you become cynical. Oh, I know all about such and such. It's useless. It means if you sometimes give up in an area or endeavor where you might have preserved great success, that's a shame. If it's also the reason why you sometimes abandon faith in a relationship, it's a tragedy. To fill your life with loving and acceptance, you simply have to overcome the tendency to fill your mind with negative dismissal. For while you have one, you simply have nowhere to put the other. You and your creativity. You ought to consider becoming a writer, for you have a real way with words. You might also make a promising cartographer, for you can always find a clever way to get from A to B. Then again, a career in meteorology might suit you, for you're certainly fascinated by the changing climates and conditions. Yet for all of your intelligence, wit, and fascination with detail, you're sometimes more inclined to help others display their genius than to use your own. You can find yourself interested in assisting absent-minded professor types, who have a lot to teach you and hopefully a lot to learn from your somewhat more substantial grasp of reality. Often, though, they end up talking you out of the common sense you're trying to talk into them. Venus in Gemini makes you willing to listen, which is good, but a little too easily persuaded, which is problematic. For the same reason you have to take care in business matters. You have great ideas and a real talent for making ordinary things look special, but you're sometimes afraid to ask for what a thing is worth, or little too quick to agree to deal that benefits the other participant more than it suits you. You and romance. Venus in Gemini makes you witty, perceptive, inventive, and vivacious. Given a straight, non-negotiable choice between a partner with devastating looks, but a dull personality, or one with, shall we say, an unusual appearance but a brilliant mind, you'll have no hesitation in opting for intelligence. Ultimately, the quality of pillow talk matters far more for you than the quality of anything else that can happen in a bedroom. That's not to say you're ambivalent about the physical side of your romance, nor that you have no appreciation for a fine face and figure. It's just that to you, love is about good communication, or it's about nothing at all. In an ideal world, you'd have a lover with brains and beauty, or dare I say it, you'd have one of each type. You can just about cope with the concept of monogamy, but only if the word never becomes confused with monotony, for you thrive on variety and change. Your partner, therefore, has to be lively and interesting enough to hold your interest, and self-contained enough not to see your flirtatious personality as a threat. It's the nature of Venus in Gemini never to be satisfied with anything, always to be looking out for something new, often to be questioning conventional ideas and expectations. Sorry, bug's biting me. People similarly stimulated by the desire to push back life's boundaries find you devastatingly attractive. You make them think, you make them fight, and most of all, you make them laugh. People whose primary desire is to conform for the sake of a quiet life find you more likely to make them cry. Here, you have to be careful, for despite your general preference for thought over feeling, you are a soft and sensual soul and a sucker for a sob story. The way you manifest femininity. There may be a sexier woman on earth, but you've never met her. Once or twice you've come across someone superficially similar, but on closer inspection she's proved a little too dull, dreary, or desperate. It's a shame, really, because you could do with some competition, if only to liven those tediously long days of fending off admirers. There's certainly not a man alive who can withstand your charm when you lay it on thick enough. When your sharp wit is infallible in sight, you can turn yourself like a chameleon into whomever you suspect your quarry happens to be dreaming of. But as you really want to be loved for who you are, your ideal mate has to be smart enough to see through you without being quite smart enough to see past you. They also have to be good looking, so others will envy you, but not so cute as to make you constantly nervous that your mate will be stolen. Not that they could be, of course, but it's just as well not to run the risk. Ideal woman. The siren of your secret dreams probably wears a mortarboard, a black academic gown, and precious little else. Before agreeing to respond to your amorous advances, they want you to name the capital of Assyria, calculate as to the 10 decimal places, and list the Roman emperors in chronological order. Should you fail any of these tasks, they will help you find some novel way to tease the answer into your memory. It's debatable whether you really yearn for seductress or instructress, though the latter has overtones of punishment. We'd better add immediately that Venus in Gemini gives you no taste for stern discipline. The mate of your dreams needs to be light-hearted and good-humored about their role as an educator and debater of topical issues. They simply have to be bright and bubbly, soft and sharp, and attractively formed and impressively formed. So, those are the messages that I have for you. I hope that you have found them to be helpful. I thank you so much for taking the time to check out my video, and I want you to know that I love you.